sure it's good to go because that's going to be the primary video.
Mm-hmm. We are live. Make sure if you can look on, maybe look on my Facebook page just to make sure it looks live.
Alrighty, I'm going live, ladies and gentlemen, on my page as well.
Do we need to move the camera angle down?
I think we're bueno. Let's check your face.
Yeah, you got this nice.
You should be bueno. It's just not the end of the world. It's not the primary.
No,
stream.
because I got the original one up there.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Audio's all set, ready to roll?
It is.
Well, hello everybody out there in Podcast Nation. Thank you for joining us today. It is a privilege to have you on here and a privilege to be able to broadcast live to you today from the Two Brothers Live TV.
And Weirman Media.
Yeah, we got JR over here, my buddy. I am Dell, the Recovery Atheist. And today we decided we're going to go live and have some discussions about something that we kind of touched on a little bit yesterday, which was meditation.
Meditation and how crucial it is.
Yeah, how does it play a role in your life, our lives? How can it benefit us in our lives? Because I think it's a practice that can really be used to help in everyday life and making life more satisfying, happier, more joyful. And I'm not just saying that just to be super positive. I'm saying it because I use it every day and it seems to work. Of course, my way of doing it, it will be different from other people. Some might be like me, but some are different. And so we're just going to discuss, different things about it and our feelings on it. So how you doing this morning or afternoon, JR?
I'm doing great. So I love this topic, Del. Yesterday we were doing a show and you touched on it briefly and mentioned the definition of meditation, and it was really, really interesting. And for me, I just think it's so crucial incorporating emotional intelligence and realizing how emotional intelligence is such a valuable and tangible asset, and realizing how meditation plays a role in having the ability to gain that self-awareness and gain that emotional intelligence, where today in 2020, if you realize it, when emotions go up, intelligence goes down. Because if I'm operating in anger or some kind of emotion that makes me distorted in my actions and thoughts, and I act in like violent ways, or I act out, it's just really, really, really crucial to realize the importance of emotional control and how when emotion goes up, intelligence goes down.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I know for me, when I am stuck in my emotions, I definitely do not think as clearly as I would like to. And a lot of times when that happens, I make a lot of irrational decisions. So I have found that if there's a way for me to use mindfulness and meditation and be able to clear my thoughts that way and kind of bring myself back into balance and take a breath, that I start realizing that what I'm getting upset about or letting control me in that moment is not exactly the right response I'm supposed to be having at that moment, which allows me to be able to, make the right decisions and have a better life. I just started doing it here in the last year or so. I'm really big into DBT. You know what that is?
I do not.
Dialectical behavioral therapy.
Interesting.
Okay, which is mainly about mindfulness.
And you are a previous LADC, so you have some very interesting perspectives and insights on all this.
I do. I was trained in CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, which is mainly what thoughts that you have control your feelings and emotions, which go to making your decisions. And the therapy part of it, or treatment part of it, is being able to figure out ways to do that better. Now, dialectical behavioral therapy is the same way, except you're using mindfulness, which is kind of a meditation. It is a meditation. So you're using stuff like wise mind. There's different names to different parts of it. living in the moment, distraction, things that I can use in my recovery to help me be able to live in that moment and not allow whatever it is to possibly trigger me into making some irrational decisions.
Totally. So that's why for me in my history, one of the most powerful things I have, I like to say, is my perspective. And I feel like we all just have our perspective. And a big part of my abilities to have success in any endeavor, or no matter what I'm doing, or also have happiness in life, directly correlates to the fact that I read The Art of Happiness by the Dalai Lama, and at the same time was using Sam Harris's guided meditation app, the Waking Up app. I highly recommend it. Sam Harris is amazing. And if you actually send him an email and tell him you can't afford it or might not be able to, they will grant you a year membership for free if you are in bad financial situations. So It was the most amazing mix for me, reading the Dalai Lama's book, Art of Happiness, and then following Sam Harris's guided meditation on the Waking Up app. It brought me incredible perspective to how little attention I was investing in my mind and like gaining perspective and awareness of how little control I have over my thoughts, but at the same time, how much I need to spend time investing in gaining that control and understanding my most powerful tool, my mind. Our minds are so powerful.
Yes, they are. I mean, and so we kind of talked about it yesterday. For me, I have a way of looking at it that meditation could be pretty much anywhere at any time. Sometimes I don't even realize I'm doing it, to be honest with you. Sometimes once you get into a mode of where it just becomes natural for you as a part of living, to help you be able to go through life and get through things, it starts becoming almost like a natural reaction in certain situations to do it. So I found another definition. I had a definition yesterday. I found another one today. It's meditation is a practice where an individual uses a technique. It can be mindfulness, focusing the mind on a particular object, thought, or activity. And mainly the cause of that is to train, or the result you're trying to get is to train attention and awareness to achieve a mentally clear, emotionally calm, and stable state. What do you think about that?
I think that's so true. In conditioning and building up our minds and investing in and conditioning ourselves, and it's all interesting when you look at it. It's conditioning and fitness, and like building up our conditioning and fitness of our mind. So like if you think about it, that's essentially what it is. You're trying to invest in your ability to control and understand your thoughts, not necessarily control them, but just understand them and understand emotion and understand that stuff comes and goes all the time, and that like I don't have to let that emotion that comes and goes all the time control my actions and thoughts. I can still gain perspective through meditation and awareness of my mind and how it acts and behaves, and realize that this too shall pass, and then understand that it's so crucial to be calm, to be emotionally intelligent, and to be someone that carries that. Being an emotionally strong person is so valuable. If you can be the emotional strength for people, your loved ones, your partners, your friends, in business, if you're never the one that's losing your control of your emotions, that's an incredibly attractive quality and also incredibly valuable. It's just interesting how intangible assets and intangible tools or qualities go so easily unnoticed. So like that one, so easy, they don't get noticed enough. Like we all pay attention to the tangible assets, but then the things we can't see oftentimes are the most valuable. So if you look at humans, our most valuable assets are internal. They're our abilities to have emotional intelligence, our abilities to share our stories and connect on an intimate level with another human being. These things are all intangible, and it makes sense if you think about it, because the things that we don't see and we can't see are the ones that bring like the most value. It just makes sense, and it's hard to see them and it's hard to gain them, but no one really, I don't believe, values them enough. I think meditation and mindfulness and emotional intelligence is highly undervalued.
Right, and we always talk about how, and it's a big thing in society today, you want to be physically fit. You want
physically fit.
Yes, physically fit. You got to be healthy. You got to make sure you're going to the gym.
Which is good.
Which is good. It's
but what about the mind?
Yeah, are you working out the mind?
Look at that. It's so amazing. I really think there's going to be a huge movement with this too, Del, because like in the future, mindfulness and awareness and emotional intelligence, I think, are going to be really shifted towards the more valuable end of things, and people are really going to start having like awaken. Bob Monahan, the owner of Hostel du Nord, is really thinking about some of these evolutionary concepts and ideas of opening a place or having a place where you can have meditation, awareness. shout out, where you can have meditation and awareness and like come to that space and have a more healthy, aware, awakened like experience, and try and focus on that conditioning and try and focus on that ability to gain that perspective.
Well, and just think about it. In the world that we live in today, we are so busy. We're constantly running, going to work, taking the kids to school, if it is for you, going to church and other things with that. There's tons of stuff that we're doing in our lives, but do we actually take the time, just even if it's just 5 minutes?
5 minutes.
Just 5.
Even start with 60 seconds.
Right. Even this website I'm looking at right now says just 2 minutes.
I'm just saying the value it's brought me, that's why we share this stuff. It's helped me, it's helped him so much that we want to bring things forward to people. So at the end of the day, this is about you people. This is about the value that we can bring you. So that's why we share these things. These are the things that help us. The things that bring us happiness, the things that bring us perspective, the things that bring us value that we can then move forward sharing with others and helping build everyone up around us. So that's why we're sharing this with you. That's why we talk about these things, and that's why we broadcast it, because we want to talk about it and share what's helped us with other people. So for me, meditation has helped me so much with the control of my emotions. It has directly correlated with my success in business, directly correlated with my success in life and my happiness, because I've started to gain perspective, awareness to the things that I do value and understand that whole thing. Like, it's just incredibly powerful once you realize that meditation can really do a lot for you.
Right. And they say, 28 days creates a new habit?
Yeah, that's true.
So when it comes down to it, is just take 5 minutes, just 5 minutes.
Start small.
Just get started. Just do 5 minutes, do it for a month, see how you feel. You'd be surprised when you're doing it how you start noticing different sensations in your life, how your body feels, how your mind feels. Our bodies are trained to tell us when we need something, whether it's we need some sleep, or we feel tired, we're a little bit irritable that day, whatever it is. And there's ways to be able to overcome that and feel better in those situations. Our mind, like you said, it's a powerful thing.
Yeah, and I just think it's so remarkable that so many people don't understand it, but like the speed thing that we touch on is like, if we realize that the pause, so if I want to correlate this all to the COVID and life today, it's really interesting because the pause really helps. Gary Vaynerchuk shared a story or a piece of content where he talked about when COVID hit, maybe this is the pause we all needed. A lot of us are just operating in life, just going and operating. We're not ever hitting pause and auditing. So for me, the minute I can hit pause, and this is what meditation does a lot for me, is it gives me the time to hit pause and then think and reflect. It's very similar to auditing my life and my actions, but more so auditing my thoughts, my emotions, and my behaviors. So when I talk about auditing my income and auditing my actions, a big part of that is also meditating, hitting pause on life, on everything out there in the world, and trying to sit and audit my behaviors and my thoughts and my emotions, which is a big part of the first thing I ever talk about. The first step of auditing our income and actions is also a big part of that, is meditation and auditing my emotions and auditing my behaviors.
And I'll tell you, with the world that we're living in today, with everything, and seems to be a lot of angst and hatred and anger from a lot of people out there. Meditation for me, it actually helps me able to have a better attitude, a loving attitude.
But that's a great point, Del. Because look at that. Remember what they said about people that riot? It's the language of who? The unheard.
Right.
So this all is coming full circle, because then it brings it back into communication and sharing your truth and sharing your story. Because if people spoke out and learned how to articulate and share their stories and their pains and their sufferings, then other people would shine light on it more. So if you think about it, that's really interesting that you did that, because the people that are rioting and people that are acting out, that is a form of communication and language, and it's because they're unheard.
And by doing that, by getting that story out there, by being able to authentically say, what you're feeling and the experiences that you're having, you're going to find other people who can relate to that and have empathy in that. And empathy, that humanistic view of that, is going to allow people to come together and have that connection, because then you start realizing, even though we come from all different parts of life in the world, that we do have a lot of similarities. And I think so much in the world today is we focus so much on our differences rather than on the similarities that we have.
So true, which is why the storytelling is so crucial, because then we can share those and find those similarities.
And you know, and I'll be honest with you, with me, I love differences.
Yeah.
If everyone was the same.
Imagine how boring it would be.
Oh, it would be so boring. It would be so frustrating. I love the differences. I love hearing stories I've never heard from, different cultural differences, foods. I mean, everything that way. I mean, we have a lot of racial stuff that's going. I love knowing about. I love traveling. I love going to different parts of the world if I can. I haven't gone to as many places as I would like. I would like to eventually hit Europe. I've gone to Dominican and Mexico a couple times, and it's just that different culture. I'm interested in knowing more about people in general, and that's just the humanist in me. I crave that connection.
Yeah, so I just think it's really crucial that to share things that help me and share things that help bring us forward and unite us. So I think if we can somehow all learn how to lean into gaining emotional intelligence, lean into how to audit our emotions, our actions, and our behaviors. And also, I want to say shout out to Ronnie Lidstrom. Thanks for being with us, Ronnie. Shout out to Henry Roll for being with us. We all appreciate you guys interacting and being here with us. Shout out to anyone that's with us. If you want to hop on the show or get a mention or get a shout out, just please keep interacting and tuning in, and we'll make sure to communicate with you and keep those lines open, and maybe even get you on the show.
Yes, please do that.
So, but I just like to share my value, and for me, meditation is a big part of it. So yesterday when you brought it up, and for me, a big part of my meditation is sharing my story. So when I get to have you here with me, and I get to have you all tune in, I can share my values, and I can in essence, be selfless through selfishness. So I'm sharing my story, but at the same time, I'm sharing it with you in a vulnerable, authentic, true way that hopefully develops an emotional connection and brings you value. And I'm sharing the things that have helped me get to the point where I can share that. And meditation is a big part of that. So meditation has given me the awareness, the perspective, the self-awareness, the emotional IQ, and then the self-confidence through doing things, tasting things, and taking risks and having failures, and then moving forward with that confidence, that self-awareness, that emotional intelligence, and then that perspective and all of the auditing and the action and all that comes together with me being able to come forward in front of you and make myself vulnerable and be authentic. So that's why I shared we're talking about this. I love meditation. I only do 1 to 5 minutes a day. That's it. 1 to 5 minutes a day is the average for me, but it makes me tune in. Like I have this spot on my nose where I've developed through my breathing patterns, where if I start to get I feel emotions coming through, I've learned how I can just tune into this spot on my nose. It sounds really weird, I know, but I can tune into it and boom, I can tap back into that 1 to 5 minute session just through thinking about that spot. Because when I'm sitting and breathing and meditating, I'm calm and I have that spot that I focus on to lose. And then also another thing I really like to do is to meditate on the well-being of others. I like to sit around, and I actually like to be around noise, and then meditate on the people and realize that they all are just other humans with pain and suffering and dealing with struggles and difficulties, and think about how I can look at ways to help bring them to this space of happiness, pursuing their passion, and just thinking about others. I think there's a term for that when you meditate on others' well-being. I've read about it before, but I'm not 100% on it, but I just really like the sitting there thinking about the people around me and hearing them interacting and being around me, and then also just thinking about how they can maybe be lifted up and I can help lift them up.
Right. And I look at it the same way. For me personally, I can do my meditation anywhere. It doesn't matter to me. I find that what I'm doing here can be part of my meditation, because it allows me to be able to think on my thoughts and what I'm trying to do. But mainly, like this morning, I had a tattoo consult this morning, which I'm very excited about. But on the bus on the way up, there was a lot of people on the bus, and I really hate riding the bus when it's just full of people. It can be kind of stressful. But for me, I turned on the tunes, and I sat back and I closed my eyes and just meditated on my day, my thoughts, how I was feeling in that moment, what my plans were for the day, what I wanted to talk about and discuss here with you people on our podcast here. And just it allowed me to get a focus on where I'm at in my life. And that's huge. Like when I lose focus, or start getting away from what truly matters in my life and what those priorities are, I tend to get a little bit crazy. I tend to make some more irrational decisions, even to the point of like buying things I shouldn't buy, like just spending money for no reason, just because it fills a void. It makes me feel good because I made that buy. So I've been able with this to help in so many areas, helping with controlling money, helping with being able to control my emotions that way, better healthy relationships and communication skills to be able to do that. And how about, especially since I'm an alcoholic, and I will sit there and say that for many years I haven't been able to love myself or forgive myself, it allows me to be able to realize how much there is good and strength in me, and be able to look at myself and love myself for who I am. And today I'm free. And meditation helps with that.
Totally. And the other thing I think that's super cool for me with meditation as well, Del, is just like if you think about the conditioning and fitness, so like think about how we talk about taking risk and having failures and I talk about putting myself in different arenas in life and taking risks and doing things that are uncomfortable that I've never done before. And then that conditions me for that. The other thing I like to think about with this meditation thing is it conditions my mind that I don't let other people's control it. So like picture my mind being in different situations and interactions with people as different arenas. And then I'm not going to let that arena control my thoughts. Just think about who's controlling our thoughts. So like I'm trying to gain through meditation control of my emotions and thoughts, and not letting other people dictate if like they make me mad. They control, like if I give someone the control over making me angry, mad, sad, or if I invest my happiness and give it that power to someone else, that's incredibly scary to me. Like letting other people's words and what they say and do impact my emotions and my like behaviors is really scary, because then someone can just do something in a certain situation and now I act out and I'm out of control. So it's really interesting to connect all of this together to understanding like the control of my thoughts and mind, and gaining awareness to who has that and who I'm giving control. Like, am I letting my mom and dad like determine my happiness? Am I finding my happiness in my boyfriend or my girlfriend? Am I like if someone says, if you say that I'm ugly, like am I losing my shit and like now negative and sad? Like that's where it comes down to perspective and my binary operating of like I care what everyone says, but at the same time I don't give a fuck. Like I care, but I don't care at all. I'm the person that cares the most about what everyone thinks, but at the same time doesn't care at all. It's like I digest your input and I consider it and I value it because it's what feeds me and gives me guidance and direction, and then I tune it into my compass from everyone that I surround myself with, and that's what gives me direction. But I'm not going to let other people or extrinsic factors determine my intrinsic happiness or my intrinsic emotions or my thoughts. So I think that's really interesting how meditation can help push us in that direction where we can like understand that we can have control of that and not let other people have it.
Right, and I think that for me, I've let too many people have that control.
People, places, and things.
Right, to the point where it's. I said this to you earlier, and I've had some friends of mine say it is what they like about me on here is how authentic and open I am about who I am. I have a hard time doing that when I'm live and in person in front of someone because of trust issues and stuff of that's happened to me over the years. And here, right now, what's happening for me is I'm becoming more and more comfortable. The meditation is helping with that. I'm becoming more and more comfortable with who I am and being able to be authentic and open and not fear judgment.
Not fear judgment. Man, this is a really great topic. Judgment. We're all fearful of whatever. That's such a huge topic. And then judging ourselves. That's another really big.
That sometimes is worse. I always say that I'm the worst critic of my own self.
Yeah, we need to stop judging. Judging is a huge topic that we need to move into, and I think in future episodes we could lean into just judgment, because ultimately judgment is a product of ego, and judgment is a product of, to me, division. Like it's not about unity if I'm judging people and looking. It's like it's correlated to tolerance, in my opinion. If you look at judging other people's, it's like I'm putting myself on a pedestal, and then I'm looking for these characteristics in other people and identifying them that make them less than or make them not good enough to be on my space or my level. So it's very similar to me to very egotistical operation in egotistical ways, where if I'm judging all the time, I'm being very judgmental, dividing, and the opposite of like community development and connection. And this is why, to me, I seriously think it's so crucial to care what other people think, but don't let it like control you. So like you can digest and take people's input and like use it as a serious like guidance, but at the end of the day, you're the one that makes that decision, and stop judging yourself because of what other people are saying or telling you to do, or like we let other people control us way too much.
Yeah, I mean, control in this country, it seems like it's a big thing. I mean, people will sit there and be upset about the government and the control they have, you know, especially with the mandates they make, the rules, the laws, the masks, our jobs, religion. I mean, you can go on and on about the control that's there. And I guess I throw this out to the people watching and just people in life in general.
Which, thanks for tuning in, y'all.
Yeah,
thanks, Ronnie.
thanks everybody.
Thanks, Richard.
Yeah, we really appreciate you being here. Is that, when are you truly going to be free?
Such a great point. I love these topics. It's amazing. And then this all connects to fictional stories. So when he talked about we're letting other people, like judgment, control, think about what controls us, our decisions, and what controls our thoughts, our emotions most. Guess what? Think about it. It's basically fictional stories. It's money, it's religion, it's the political system, and it's these factors. And if you look into it, they're all fictional stories. They're things that we as human beings, the human species created. We created money. We created currency as a form to operate more efficiently in the economic system. We created human rights. Human rights, look inside a human, cut them open, look at them. There is no like definition. We've created those definitions, and we've created these stories. And now we're letting these stories, like the internet and the technology and the money and religion and politics, they are the number one factors that are controlling us on a daily basis.
Yeah, I mean, when I get up every morning, what is the things I have to think about? Okay, do I have money in the bank? Do I have a bed to sleep in? Have I paid my rent? Do I have food? Do I have a job to go to?
Hierarchy of needs.
It's the hierarchy of needs. We live in that every day. There's no way to get away from it. So how many of us in those situations get overwhelmed because we have to deal with those things? Again, another reason for meditation.
To gain
perspective on what really should be the priority.
And value. It should be happiness.
Right. And
we should start valuing our happiness more than anything, not money.
I see so many people that are focused on the wrong priorities.
Your happiness is what matters most.
Exactly.
Look, your happiness matters most.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Yours too.
And then all of you, your happiness needs to be your number one value. Why? Why not? You live once. Why not make your happiness the priority?
You know where I get a lot of my happiness right now? People like you. I do. I get a lot. It used to be my happiness was in a video game or in superficial things.
Escapism.
Exactly. Now I'm starting to find that connection in relationships that I have is giving me happiness. Like last night, I'm sitting there and I'm like, should I be playing the PlayStation right now? I'm like, no, I'm going to work on my podcast so that way I'm ready to go for JR tomorrow. And because I enjoy the time that we spend together and doing this and spending time with you out there.
To me, this is escapism. I lose myself in this, and it's my so it's a blessing. This is why This is why you hear me bring it to you, and it's why I'm so grateful, happy, and in such a great spot, because I get to this is amazing. I'm in the first space in my life where I feel like I'm doing something. I'm not working. I'm doing something I truly love. I'm happy. I'm at a space where I'm content, but I want more. It's like amazing. I'm so grateful that I get when I come in here right now. This is fun to me. We're creating something, we're sharing something, we're doing something together, we're united, we're coming together as a team, me, you, my brother, Bob Monahan, Kaylin Mars, shout out to all of you.
And
we're coming together as a team, and we're working together, and we're realizing our values as individuals. Kaylin's great at many things. Dell's great at many things. I'm great at many things, but we also have shortcomings and defects. And then when we come together, we can use each other to build things up and be creative and share that with the world.
We all bring something to the table.
It's really epic that when it feels great, it's really fun, it's really amazing, and I'm incredibly grateful. And that's why I want so many people to see this and hear this and share these things like meditation and perspective and awareness and stuff that we've found through meditation, through auditing our income, our actions, our emotions, gaining awareness, and then moving into step 2 and 3 of humility and open-mindedness, which helps us connect and work with others and do all these things that we're talking about. Because ultimately, if I let ego take over and I stop valuing things like my happiness and other people, and like just in general, if I let my ego take over and I start letting the fictional stories of money, religion, and politics to determine what I do with my time and my energy, I really start to see a correlation in how my happiness goes down.
Well, and in the past, like, look at the situation I'm in right now. I just started doing this podcast grind a couple months ago, okay? And working off of a cell phone in a small little room with hardly any equipment or anything of that nature. And here I am getting to sit down with this great man, JR, and with his brother, and have this experience. And I want to give a shout out to him for that. But this is allowing me to grow as a person and become who I'm really looking to be. And the idea of
that's really cool.
Like what he said, said about bringing different things to the table and bringing it in. Each one of us is coming in here with different experiences, different roads that we've gone down, different skills. And it makes us better.
It makes us so well-rounded.
We're stronger.
Exactly. And our strength comes in numbers and a collective level as a species, not on an individual level. If I'm out there trying to, like as a species, you can look into it, we're stronger united. We're stronger when we're working together flexibly, and that's exactly what you're talking about.
Roll in the pack, baby. You got to live in the pack. I love wolves. I don't know if you do, but wolves.
I love wolves. Wolves and horses.
Yeah, wolves are one of my favorite animals.
Shout out to Kayla at the hospital. She owns Hans, a horse. I was just talking to this gal last night. She has a horse, Hans. It's really cool. One day I do dream of having, I would love to breed horses and race horses. I'm just fascinated by horses.
Well, then you should move down to Kentucky where I was living.
Well, golly, I call that Kentucky. I ain't never going back.
You want to go down to Kentucky and
I ain't never going back there. That's
Kentucky. People? Yeah, I didn't have a very good experience down there. But anyway, the wolves, they go in packs. They work together and survive and help each other out that way and hunt in that way. Well, we're hunting for information. We're hunting for knowledge.
Intellectual value. God damn, you just hit it on the head. That's why it's so crucial when you think about what you're sharing, what you're doing with your content, when you think about the written word, the photo, and the video, what you're sharing with it. This is why meditation and all these steps bring us to a spot where we can share this and do all this. This is why we talk about all these factors. Because it then brings you to a space where you can realize, okay, what's my passion, what's my value, what can I share with the world and give people and help build people up and help unite people. So that's exactly right. And using the photo, the video, and the written word to share intellectual insight on some idea, topic, service, or solution, or brand. Whether you're in a service business, you're in a branding business, whether you're in whatever business. We're all in the reputation business in life, period, no matter what you're doing. But you need to realize that if you can share intellectual value to the end consumer of whatever you're sharing or bringing to people, that's the most valuable asset in life. Intellectual value, which comes from experiences ultimately, but we can also use others' experiences and learn from them. This is why we talk about people sharing their stories, because now I've learned from you. You share insights and perspectives, and I learned from you. So I agree 100%. Intellectual insight is such a big part of what I try and sculpt in the content, like what we're doing right now. Like we're trying to bring value to you all into how meditation can be valuable.
I crave it. I crave knowledge. I crave knowing. I do. I crave it. It's like an addiction to me.
A healthy addiction, though. That's a great point.
It's a positive, healthy addiction.
Healthy escapisms.
I want to be 75 years old and still learning things every day.
Right?
I want to expand my knowledge, my brain. I want to expand my experiences and my relationships with people and just have a full, prism, a full area, a world view of everything that's going on in my reality, by allowing other people to be able to touch in that reality and allow my life to be satisfying.
I agree, man, 100%. It's been a great topic, a great conversation, and I do think that we could lead into a lot more with the whole judgment thing. That could be a whole episode.
We got a lot of more topics for podcasts coming up, so you definitely want to stay tuned, Podcast Nation.
100%. So we appreciate it, and if you guys can continue to tune in, continue to vibe with us and listen, and we would love to let you know that I make myself readily available. So if you want to come in here and be on his show, Dell's show, which is the Recovery Atheist.
Right.
If you want to come in here and be on Daily W, or you want to be on Two Brothers TV podcast, we would love that. So the Duluth Hostel du Nord downtown is a great place to do that. You can come explore and stay in town if you're just wanting to visit, and then you can hop on the show. They also are going to be launching a show shortly, or if you just want to come in here and share your story, or you just want to text us or email us or reach out on social platforms. We are about making ourselves available and trying to bring value to people at the end of the day. That's what we're here for, and we do it because we love what we're doing and we're happy, and we want to share how we've come to this space and this time in our life. So
yeah, definitely. Thank you out there, everybody. I am the Recovery Atheist. If you go onto YouTube, definitely look up my channel and subscribe if you get the chance.
Appreciate it.
Yep, definitely appreciate it. I'm going to be setting up an email for that account as well to be able to have you be able to get a hold of me. If not right now, just contact me on Facebook through my Facebook page under Del Bacon. Obviously, I've got my live stream up here right now as well. I'm looking forward to talking with the masses.
Once again, that's another episode of Daily W with Del Bacon, the Recovery Atheist. Thanks for tuning in.
Peace.
Cool. That did really, I was sharing it. It did pretty solid.